Hey, welcome back to the Sixth Gear Garage. I've had a couple of pole barns built over the years. The first one was a 32 by 40 shop, and that was built by the Amish at my old place. And it had a heated floor, and it was dirt cheap. That was back in 2010. I paid just under 15 grand for that building, and I finished the inside, had about 20 grand in the whole thing total. And I really missed that shop a lot, especially the heated floors. So after moving, I've had another 24 by 40 shop built, and that was by Burkholder's Custom Construction. They did a great job, but it's more used for storage as I do all my wrenching in the residential attached garage on the house. So it's unfinished inside. But I had that built in 2020, and the total cost on that one was, I think, 26.6K. And I'm really fortunate to have had these buildings built, and I get so much use out of them. But sometimes I still daydream about my third and final shop. My channel is still a small fish in the world of YouTube, but someday I will need more space and it'd be really nice to have a lift. So I designed a house shop slash garage condo slash barndominium slash garage house, whatever you want to call it. Basically, half house, half garage. And maybe I could realistically afford it someday. Like maybe when I have a million subs or something. So let's start with the exterior. The footprint of the building here is 72 wide by 72 deep, and it's going to have 16-foot ceilings. And the garage half is on the right, and then I've got the living space over here on the left. Now, there's a porch over here, you've noticed, and it's got another side area here, which is kind of like a double as covered parking for one vehicle. And there's a lean-to over on the right side, and that's 12 feet wide. So here's a look at the overall floor plan. And we'll zoom in on the garage side first. I've got two 12-foot doors and a man door over here underneath the lean-to. And the shop area is 72 feet deep, and it's going to be 40 feet wide. So 72 by 40, and I could easily fit three vehicles across here, as you can see, with plenty of space in between. And over on the right side, I'm going to have a two-post lift, and this is going to be like my main wrenching area. And over here, I'm just going to have storage for vehicles and other projects. Moving on back here, we have some stairs going up to the loft, which we'll take a look at in a little bit. And this area here is under the loft. And back here, I'm going to have a wood shop area with all of my saws and cutting tools and things like that. This is going to be like the dirty area of the shop. And then over here, I've got welding equipment and metal work area too. Let's get a little closer here. And next to this area, I have an 8-foot garage door. I've got a 8 by 24-foot concrete patio out back, and I can drag the welding equipment outside, or roll the saws outside and do my really dirty work outside and help keep the garage clean. Moving on this way, I've got a back area here. This is 16 by 32 feet, and it's mainly going to be used for a storage area, but it could also be doubled as a paint area. I could put a plastic curtain across here to help keep any dust out. So moving on around the corner here in the shop side, mandatory urinal over here on the wall. And here in the middle of the whole building is the tankless water heater and the radiant manifolds. I'm definitely going to go with heated floors in this shop like I had in my first building because they are so efficient. However, in this setup, I would go with an open loop system to heat the floor with tap water instead of the closed loop system like I had before, which uses glycol. My heating bills were so low in that first shop. I think I heated the house and the shop, and it was maybe over a couple $100 twice, where now just the house that I live in has an electric heat pump, and our bills easily reach $600+ in the wintertime for heating. It's ridiculous. So I definitely want to make sure the new place will have natural gas and definitely no propane because that's not much better than the electric heat pump. But yeah, this is all in the very center of the entire floor plan here, as you can see, and that's going to help with efficiency as well. So let's move on down. I got a utility sink, a counter here, and I'll probably run a spigot over here so that I can wash vehicles indoors here over the floor drain. So before we go over and look at the living quarters here, I just want to say first, I built this in Adobe Illustrator. It is not at all meant to use for architectural drawings, and I am definitely not an architect. So if you see something wrong, please let me know. I've made several revisions to this design over the past year, and I'm still not 100% final. I got a couple issues to figure out, and we'll talk about those later on in the video. By the way, I designed this as a pole barn, and you see these little black squares going throughout the place. Those are the poles here. There we go. And here's the concrete pad. So these poles are spaced 8 feet apart, and each one is 6 by 6. And I have experience in designing pole buildings. I've seen a couple built. If it makes more sense to build something like this in a traditional foundation with studded walls, or even in like maybe a steel building, let me know if you know something about that because that's not something that I have much experience with. So onto the living area. So on the front of the building, you're going to have a big front patio along with a sort of extension on the patio, which can double as a carport because in the middle of winter, I don't want to be opening and closing that big door all the time and letting all that cold air into the shop. So it would be nice to have just some outside parking to help keep the heat inside the shop. So once you enter the front door, so you have all these blue things here. These are windows to the outside. And over here on to the right is a living area. Over here on the left is a dining area. And over here, after the living area, is a set of French doors to enter into the shop. Moving on toward the back, we have a kitchen island. And over on this side are stairs that are going to go up to the loft, which we'll take a look at in a minute. And right here, underneath the steps, there's going to be a small closet for things like coats and whatnot, just a little bit of storage. That's going to go back underneath the steps here. Moving on back here, this is going to be a closet, which will probably be more used as a pantry. And over here is going to be my office slash work area, where I'll be doing all my video editing. And across from that, around the pantry, is going to be a laundry room with my utilities and a sink, probably some storage shelving or something like that. And through that is going to be a small half bath. Let's move on farther back to the master bedroom. Now, this is much larger than I actually wanted, but being a pole barn, all the poles are based on 8 feet, so you kind of have multiples of 8 to work with here. So the master bedroom is 15 by 21, and over on the one side, there is a full bathroom, and on the other side is a 10 by 6 walk-in closet. And notice everything that's going to use water here is as close as possible to the tankless heater. And that's going to help your hot water get to your washer, dryer, sink, shower, whatever faster than if it were on the other side of the house, and also save on plumbing. All right, let's zoom out a little bit and let me turn on the upstairs here. Walls, some stuff on the second floor. All right. So you go up to the loft here, past the landing on the steps, and upstairs you're going to have a 20 by 16 loft, just a big open area. And I think it'd be cool to have a couple windows looking down into the shop. It makes for some nice viewing angles for videos. And the first bedroom is not quite 11 by 17 because I had to cut some out for a closet here. So there's a first bedroom, and around the corner is another bedroom, which is a true 11 by 17 bedroom with the closet on the outside. And across from that is a full bathroom. And then next to that, I've got a 7 by 8 closet, which I sort of sectioned off for HVAC purposes. There's definitely going to need to be some air conditioning because Ohio summers do get pretty hot. And also, I'm not sure about this, but I may need some sort of heat setup to heat the second floor during winter. I'm not sure if just the radiant heat from the first floor is going to be enough to heat the second floor. I need to do some more research on that, so if you have any thoughts on that, let me know. So going through this door at the end of the hallway is a giant 32 by 16 storage room. Being that this garage shop house has no basement, I have nowhere to put my photo studio or all of my Toyota parts or all my wheels. So I just need a giant room to kind of make up for not having a basement. Now, a room this large could also be converted into 2 additional bedrooms, Let's say you put in a hallway right here, and you can make one bedroom right here, and then another one over here. And because I'm going to have my HVAC right here, I could easily run ductwork through here into these additional rooms. And this door here is going to lead over to the shop loft. Let's go check out the man cave. This is going to be the 20 by 40 loft that the stairs lead up to here. Up here I'll have a pool table. I really missed having a pool table, a fridge, probably do a bar, just kind of like a chill area. And oh, I forgot about the deck. Let me zoom out here, turn on the deck. Outside, out back here, there will be a 10 by 42 foot deck over that patio. And over here, I'm going to have a sliding door to get to the deck from the man cave as well as from the storage room. But getting back to this loft over here in the shop, uh, the loft slash man cave could also be heated and cooled because I'm going to have my HVAC closet right here. I could easily run some duct work through the wall here and heat and cool this entire area. Of course, that would mean I'd have to separate it from the rest of the shop. I could do that with just a whole row of windows to kind of keep it feeling kind of open and airy, and even do like a glass door over here. But that could be down the road. But I think being that it's going to be hot up at the top of the shop, there'll probably be a lot of heat up there. I don't know if just windows being open would be enough to help keep it cool. So I mentioned earlier I had a couple of small issues with the layout that I haven't figured out quite yet. Well, the first one, the biggest one I think, was the upstairs ceiling height. Now I assumed with 16-foot ceilings, each level would be 8 feet. But I didn't account for the floor joists, which might be about 1 foot thick, which would leave me with 7 feet upstairs. And that's a pretty low ceiling. I like high ceilings. So what I could do is use a scissor truss, and that would give me a vaulted ceiling. So something on the shop side would look more like this, which would give me a lot more room up in the loft. I could even extend some of these windows going between the shop and the house and make those taller. By the way, these aren't designed to open. They're just more just to let light through. But I definitely want this window to open just so I can set up a camera and see down through. But over on the living side, that would look more like this. By the way, I tried to draw these with a fisheye view to get more perspective. This is all done freehand. Like I said, there's no software here, so it may not be to scale. But I think that a tall ceiling is going to solve that issue. Yeah, you're going to have 7 feet over here, but that's not a huge issue because it's just one small area in those bedrooms. Yeah, you'll have 7 feet right here walking up, but after that, it won't feel so claustrophobic. Plus, with all that additional ceiling height, that will leave room for some ductwork. Let's zoom in here. If you look at the ceilings in, say, like a lot of restaurants and bars and stuff like that, they have this big industrial tubes coming through to help cool. And they're the ones they start bigger and they shrink down smaller and smaller as they go out. I think that'd be kind of cool. I'm kind of going for a contemporary feel inside the place, maybe a little bit industrial, but I think that would be sufficient to cool this whole downstairs area on a hot day. And of course, there's always plenty of room to put one of those big ass fans in the ceiling, because I've always liked those too. So my only other concern is going to be the lack of natural light, especially in the living space. As you can see, I've got a lot of walls over here, and there's no windows that are going to bring in sunlight from this whole side of the house. Everything's going to come in this side or some from the front, none from the back because I've got that storage room and I've got the paint booth on the downstairs wall. So I'm only going to have windows coming in from this side. And these aren't going to get a lot of light either, as well as this one, because they're going to be blocked by the porch. So I'm really depending on these upstairs windows over here and here to let in additional light. I just hope that it would be enough light. So let me know your thoughts on that. The only other issue I have is the lack of mudroom. Most houses that I've lived in, they've got the laundry room located near the back door from the garage, which is perfect because you come in, you take off your dirty clothes, dirty boots, whatever. Here, you walk right in and you're in your kitchen and your living room. So, yeah, I guess the shop could be a giant mudroom, but it'd be nice to have something like that in here. Same with the front door. You walk right in, You got your dining area, your living room, nowhere really to put dirty boots of that sort, or even coats. I've got no coat closet. The nearest closet is over here. So I don't really want to block anything here by building in a closet because I really need those windows for the light. So if you have any ideas for solutions to those minor issues, please let me know down in the comments. And I'll continue to refine this as I iron out all of the details. I've got plenty of time because I'm long ways away from having the amount of subs I need to afford a place like this. And this isn't really a pole barn channel, it's more of a DIY automotive channel. But hey, consider subscribing, and if you decide to build my dream garage for yourself, hey, send me a link to the video. I want to see how it turns out. Thanks for watching.